Yeah, that's more of a safety thing, really. You know, I'm not saying all elves are bad. There are certain factions. Just trying to say, come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dragon Ball Z panel starring Sonny Strait, Kyle Hebert, and Christopher Sabat.
Sabat?
This
is why no one can pronounce your name.
I change it every time to keep people guessing.
What's his last name?
Sabat.
There you go.
They still know.
See, it's not Sabat.
They know.
I
can
win.
tell. These guys are smart.
That's right. It's not Kyle Herbert.
Nope.
Right Bear attacked Leo DiCaprio. That's how you remember it. Well, at least it's not Sonny Strait. That's true.
Is that how your iPhone pronounces it?
Sonny Strait.
Now calling Sony Strait.
That's just when I get Google Maps and try to find out where I am. You are almost at your destination of Sonny Strait.
This is a real conversation I had with my phone at one time. I was driving some clients around, and for whatever reason, my phone was playing like just the lamest music, like just horrible music in my car, and I was kind of embarrassed by it. I was like, I go, Siri, can you play something less gay in my library? and Siri goes, I'm sorry, I can't find something less gay in your library.
After looking at all the options available in your library.
Yeah.
And on that note,
Sorry.
should we start or just wait till people finish funneling in? Have we started? We may have started.
Yeah, we may have
This
already
is kind of like a panel for us.
Who knows?
Is this a Q&A or are we going to do a show?
We're going to reenact the Dragon Ball series. I'm angry! Oh no! Kakarot!
I'm dead! Oh no! I'm back! So chrome! I guess we do a Q&A, right? Do you guys have any Qs? Anyone?
He does. There's one question. This will be over in about 8 minutes, so.
We didn't say we answered them. We're just curious again. Do you have questions? What is your question?
Can he use the Kamehameha without actually saying it out loud?
That's impossible.
Can you use the Kamehameha blast without actually saying it? Yeah, but what would be the point? It is so cool to shout out the attack move that you're about to do. Destructo Disc! Japanese trope! You have to do it. Licensing tool! Make more toys!
Tactically, it's really a terrible idea.
Sure it is. Especially if they know what that is. Oh, I've seen that before. Oh, he's building, just shoot him.
Kamehameha.
Yeah, exactly.
Before he says the last words.
I know where you're going with this. So I don't know if it's possible. Maybe if you say it inside.
That's how you defeat a Saiyan. You just tape its mouth shut. I defeat you, but I can't say the name of my attack.
There are no mute Saiyans.
There is no mute
Yeah, of course it does.
Does it hurt when you scream?
Try it for 4 to 6 hours one day.
We tried that as well.
Yeah.
It's a numbing agent. Yeah, helps.
That's when your sessions go to 8 hours instead. Screwed up half your
We
teeth.
try everything. A little acid, heroin, just whatever will take the edge off the screen pain. We do that for you. Any other questions?
I think it go,
We have several candidates, but none of them are likely.
well, he's wearing a Dragon Ball shirt in the back. So.
Oh, that's a likely candidate, yes.
What's your guys' opinion on Dragon Ball Super?
Here's what I like about your question. We pointed to you the Dragon Ball Z shirt. You're in the very back. You can see everybody in the room. So the guy in the Dragon Ball Z shirt, you're like. Super, that would be a good thing to get. Super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can confirm that we know nothing right now.
Yeah.
We can neither confirm nor deny that super even exists. No, it may not.
We can't even have suspicions.
We're not even 100% sure if Japan exists. Surprise.
We don't even know if the Earth is
Spoiler.
round. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that even if we hypothetically were working on it, we couldn't talk about anyway until Funimation deems it necessary to say so. So,
Any other questions we can't answer? You.
can I sing the bingo song? Gosh,
Yes.
starting it that early, huh?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do it fast. Da-da-da-da-da, bingo! Bingo! Earth is a fun place to be, oh, the food is tasty too, yum! Let's go play, oh, let's be friends. Fun time bingo, ole! It's hard, without the dancing part of it. It's a shame that there's this extra feature of me doing that song and I look like a little troll in the booth just doing this.
But it's now the ringtone of so many fans.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was a fun, that was actually a terrifying
Thing to know that that song even existed. Because before we dubbed Battle of Gods, people were telling me like, there's a part where Vegeta sings in it. There's this part where Vegeta sings. I'm like, this is gonna be a problem. Because the guy who plays the Japanese voice of Vegeta, his name is Ryo Horikawa. He's got like a super high voice. He's got a fairly high. If you've ever watched the Japanese version of it, which I imagine some of you have, his attacks are like. That's what Vegeta sounds a little bit like, and so I was worried that if I was gonna have to sing it, there's no way I'd be able to sing at the same pitch. But as it turned out, it was actually really fun. So the way I approached it was like Vegeta probably has only sung maybe once in his life, and it was in that movie. So but he would of course throw it all out there. Like Vegeta wouldn't do it lame style. He would like really throw it out there.
As a Saiyan would.
And he's saying,
Proud Saiyan.
he can sing better than Kakarot.
I remember how we were recording Battle of Gods, but leading up to it, fans would come up to me and it's like, are you gonna love it? Say a man's drunk. And I go, really? And so we get to record it. It's like, so is he drunk in this? And it's like, no.
I know.
There's nothing in the script that suggests that he's drunk at that party.
Yeah, except the more I've watched it, the more I think they may be right.
Oh, oops.
There's no way of knowing for sure, but he certainly was acting weird.
Somebody told me that Krillin was actually in that, and I didn't see him in that first movie, was he? I think it's just a rumor.
It's not a rumor.
Really? Oh yeah. I love drinking.
Any other questions? All right.
Were any of you guys drunk when you guys made your episode?
Not as drunk as you are now.
Why would you be drunk?
But we're working on it.
We get drunk at cons.
No, I don't think a lot of people have been too
You're not
drunk.
drunk, inebriated.
I don't even think, like, it's just hard, it's actually harder to do this work, and even drinking the night before a session can be tricky because it really dehydrates you.
And yeah, if you go in drunk, you probably wouldn't do very well.
Well, you've got to maintain the focus of matching those mouth flaps in real time, and if you're a little inebriated, you're going to be a little sloppy.
Plus your diction, suffers and stuff like that.
Yeah, the process we're recording at the time we were doing it the first run, it was off tape. So if you blow the take, it has to rewind the tape to the exact frame, and it took like 30 seconds or more.
Yeah,
to tune
sometimes,
it up.
yeah, forever.
So we were definitely drunk then, but now
We had time to drink.
You did it many times.
But now it's on QuickTime, so you can instantly snap right back to the frame and do another take right away, so we can get a lot more done faster. So, I don't know, I guess the incentive is to not drink. Until, okay, we're done, now we can drink.
That should never be the incentive.
Incentive.
Blue shirt. Yes, you.
How long did it take to record an episode originally when it wasn't on tape?
Oh,
Like 4 years or?
That's how it felt. It really varied, but we were only able to do maybe an episode per week back then. Like now we do 2 or 3 episodes a week at least. I mean, it was way slower. Because the process, like, it wasn't just that it was on this tape, it's that the tape was being slaved by the computer. So the computer would have to send a message to this. And it wasn't just your normal standard tape recorder, it was like called a 3/4 beta deck, and it was huge, it was giant, it was like a dog crate in size. And it was so kind of half broken, and Funimation was so mostly broke that they had to like sit it up on its side because that's the only way they could keep it from like not falling apart. And so when you'd start the tape, this is kind of literally what it was. And it's kind of why the original dub sounded the way it did, because we couldn't do too much to picture, like it was too time consuming. So let me simulate kind of what it was like, all right, we're gonna come in for the next take. The engineer would press a button and go, then it would play, and then you'd get beep, beep, beep. And back then, there was no way for the computer to start recording before the third beep. So if you came in a tiny bit early, it would just cut off whatever you said before the fourth beep. And they'd do the tape, and then you would press stop, and then it would just freeze. It would just sit there for a while. The computer, like everything would lock up, and you just have to wait for it. You couldn't go anywhere, because if you went anywhere, it could start rewinding all the way to the beginning of the tape, and if that happened, you couldn't stop it, and it would take like 20 minutes to fast forward it. So sometimes you'd have to wait 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes for the thing to just wake up and do its job, and it would just finally go, okay, tick, 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 then it would stop. So what we ended up doing a lot of time was we would record it, trying to remember what it was like, and then go, all right, just give me like 3 or 4 more of those wild, or just do them after the take. We weren't able to do as much to picture, but now it's just instantaneous. You can click anywhere at any time to record something.
Well, that was part of the reason why the early seasons were the way they were. But Chris, I wouldn't say you're a humble guy, but he's humble enough not to say this. When Chris Sabat took over as director instead of assistant director, the quality of our recordings went way up. I mean, you actually had a history of entertainment before you came into it in school.
Yeah, the guy who was originally directing it, he was a well-meaning dude, but boy,
yeah.
I think he was an awkward guy. Like,
yeah, he didn't really quite get exactly what it was about. He tried really hard, but I remember you saying to us, when you started directing, you said, hey, I want us to try to make it sound like this is prelay. And I know a lot of us, I didn't know what prelay was. And if you don't know, prelay is when they record your voice first and they animate on top of that. And Chris said, I want us to try to sound like we are doing prelay here, even though we're doing dubbing. And I think that was a really high mark in Funimation. I think that was our first major step towards some quality production.
It was also difficult because this original director had set some stuff in motion that I wouldn't have probably done. Like he was really obvious about like any time a character would turn its head or lift up something, you had to make a sound. That was like part of the rule. They're like, like everything, every single movement. If someone came in the room, everyone was like,
If there's painting across a landscape, you have to fill it with narration or something.
Do you have an open mouth eye noise?
Yeah, we were battling a lot of weirdness, and I mean, in some defense, like back when we first started dubbing this, there was no internet, there was no fan subs, there was no way of like researching anything online. Heck, I didn't even know what was going to happen at the end of the series.
We were still cutting edge.
Yeah, we literally, if you wanted to download a picture of something, you had to wait like overnight for it to like download line by line.